nomthwakazo omuhle siyalamukela njalo kwesinye isiqephu sethu sezindaba kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio. Namhla kungoLwesihlanu ziyisithupha kuMbimbitho ngomnyaka ka-2026. Indaba lizethulelwa nguKhethiwe Chuma. Ke sikhangele kwesihamba phambili namhlanje kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio. Uhulumende usekhuthazwe ukuba achiyane lokujintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu abhekisise indaba ezihlupha ilizwe. Uguga uthi kakube lentengo ezingcono kulabo abafisa ukuhlolwa ngemtshina ezibhedlela zikahulumende. uColtard udla amahabula ngokwembiwa okwenziwayo kungekho emthethweni esabelweni seMathebeleland. Nanzi indaba zethu ngokugcweleyo. Inhlanganiso yamatitshala i-ATUZ isikhuthaze uhulumende ukuba akashiyane lokufuqa ukutshintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu abhekisise indubo ezibhekane lelizwe. Lokhu abathi kuya kuqhubekela phambili ngenxa yempi esidalwe i-Israel leMelika kwele Iran. Umongameli wenhlanganiso ye-ATUZ u-Obed Masaraure uveze ukukhathazeka ngokuthi iningi labantu baseZimbabwe sebephila kanzima ngenxa yokuswela ukudla. Uye wathi phambi kokuba uhulumende atshintshe isisekelo sombuso kumele aqala abhekisise indaba ezihlupha abantu elizweni ezifana lokungahambi kuhle komkhonomi. Ake sizweni uMasaraure ekhuluma.
The proposed amendment number 3 is just for short-term political convenience for the political elites. It will polarize our nation. It will divide the masses of our people who are now forced to go into camps. Those who are gullible enough to support amendments that are going to facilitate exploitation, and those who are radically opposed. Now, Zimbabwe is already facing serious challenges. We already have 90% of our people in the informal economy. We have 70% of our people living below the food poverty line. People spending or living on $2.15 per day. If you are looking at civil servants, their salaries have remained stagnant. But if you are going to be comparing the basket of goods they used to procure purchase in 2018, it has been eroded by over 85%. So this is a serious crisis that has to be addressed. Unfortunately, those in power are choosing to ignore these more pressing and important issues. They are not focusing. On amending the constitution to ensure that they bring more power to those who in office. We condemn these amendments and we reject them, and we are calling upon all working people to join hands and speak with one voice, not to amendment number 3. Why? Because it closes the door completely for the possibility of a democratic transition in Zimbabwe. We will never see democracy in Zimbabwe if those amendments come to law. The state, the arms of the state, will all be in the pocket of the executive or judiciary. The president will have superpowers to appoint the bench without even consulting. Now the president will even own parliament through the various appointments and even through running the delimitation process. So it is incumbent upon all people to unite, say no to amendment number 3.
Omela imkhopa South etalele parliamente umhlonitshwa uJohn Khuka uye wakhuluma izolo etalele parliamente lapho athe uhulumende kumele aqinisekise ukuba ukuhlolwa ngemtshina ezibhedlela zikahulumende zonke kusentengweni engayeneliswa nguye wonke umuntu. Umhlonitshwa uKhuka uthi uhulumende ulomlando wokuqinisekisa ukuba uyanikeza abantu indlela zokuthi bathole impilakahle njengalokho kukhona kusisekelo sombuso. Ake sizwe umhlonitshwa uKhuka ekhuluma.
Aiwa, tinotenda maita basa chikwata che-Citizen Movement Radio nekutipa mukana kuti titaure nevateereri tichiti kwaziwai kwese kwamuri vateereri. Zita ndinoitwa John Khuka, Member of Parliament for Mkoba South constituency muguta reGweru kuno kuMidlands. Aiwa, ndizvozvo ichokwadi. Tanga tiri mudare reparamende umo matanga tiri kuvhunza mubvunzo une chekuita nevagari. Mubvunzo wangu wanga uri kuda kuziva kuti hurumende ino urongwa hupi hwekuti zvipatara zvose zvehurumende zviri kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana kunovakwa mugere ikoko dzinge dzine aya atinoti macity scan. Paongoro yandaita ndichitenderera ndakaona kuti vanhu vazhinji vari kusangana nemhando yezvirwere zvakasiyana siyana. Mhando yezvirwere zvakasiyana siyana iyoyo iri kusvika pakuda kuti paitwe ongororo, ende umwe muchina unova unofanira kunge uchivheneka zvirwere zvakaita seizvozvi ndiwo weCT scan. Saka CT scan tiri kuona kuti muno munyika yeZimbabwe pazvipatara zviri kwamuri ikoko haisi kuwanikwa zviri nyore, kusvika even pamaprovincial hospital atinenge takatarisira kuti ndo angava vanunuri vevarwere, hakuna mushina unonzi CT scan. Saka ndakanga ndiri kubvunza minister gurukota rinoona nezveutano kuti urongwa hupi une hurumende kuti kuve nemaCT scan kunzvimbo dzamuri ikoko, kuitira kuti zvimwe zvezvirwere zvatiri kusangana nazvo zvinge zvichiongororwa nezvipatara zvehurumende uye nemari yakaderera yatinokwanisa kuti tinge tichibhadhara. Nekuti ukazvitarisa uchaona kuti kumaprivate hospitals mushini weCT scan kuti unge uchienda unovhenekwa, mari iri kudiwa ipapo it's more than 200-300 US dollars. Inova mari iri kunetsa kuti tiibate. Munongoona mamiriro zvakaita mukati meino nyika. Saka inhau yandakaisa kudare kuti aiwa ongororai nyaya iyi kuitira kuti tiwane maCT scan kuti vanhu vakwanise kuvhenekwa vachirapwa zvirwere zvavanenge vachirapwa. Saka aiwa tinovimba kuti zvinhu zvichatariswa zvionekwe kuitira kuti tinunure vanhu vakawanda, nekuti vanhu vazhinji vari kusvika pakushayika. Vanhu vazhinji
Usodolobha wako-Bulawayo uDavid Coulthard useveze intukuthelo enkulu kakhulu ngokwehluleka kukahulumende ngogatsha lwe-Environmental Management Act i-EMA ukuba bathathe amanyathelo ngalabo abembayo ngokungekho emthethweni eceleni kwamadamu lawo alethela amanzi idolobho lako-Bulawayo. Usodolobha uCoulthard uye wancoma kakhulu induna yezinduna, uyinduna uMtshane, oye wakhuluma emalangeni edlulileyo esola ukuphanjaniswa kwemvelo yilabo abemba ngokungekho emthethweni. Ake sizweni usodolobho ekhuluma.
I've noted the statement made by Chief Khumalo in which he decries the fact that many of the sacred mountains located in Matabeleland are being destroyed by illegal mining activities. I've seen this destruction myself, not just of mountains, but of river valleys alongside mountains. It is particularly severe south of Bulawayo in the Mzingwane Valley, and all the tributaries leading to the Mzingwane have been absolutely devastated by mining companies and illegal panners. But it is now an existential crisis. It is affecting the city. Despite the outstanding rains that we've had, Mzingwane is still below 40%, and it stands in marked contrast to the neighboring river system, the Mchapez, which is the Mchapez River has been spilling for weeks. And you have to ask the question, why is it that two rivers and two dams, which are the rivers themselves are less than 10 kilometers apart, and the dams are 20 or 30 kilometers apart. But why is it that one is full and the other is less than 40%? And it comes down to what is happening in the respective catchment areas. In the Mchapez River, that river rises in the Matopus, around Matobo Secondary School. There's no gold mining taking place. The Mzingwane River, however, rises south of the city, and every single tributary has been destroyed by illegal mining taking place. And the government in 2024 outlawed riverbank and river mining, but it has not enforced those laws. If you go to those areas, you will not see any evidence of EMA, you'll see no evidence of the police. and the mining is rampant and in fact is expanding. I saw this just last Sunday myself, a massive mining operation in the Umsungwane catchment area, and I've shown in the video I recorded of an entire mountain just being destroyed with huge yellow equipment, caterpillars just destroying the mountain and destroying the actual river system. And unless this stops, no water will go into these dams. We need to realize that the Umsungwane is sitting at below 40%. I stress, after a good rainy season, what is going to happen when we have a drought and low rainfall? It will mean that no water whatsoever goes into those dams, and that constitutes an existential threat to the future of Bulawayo. The municipality doesn't have the power to attend to this ourselves. Our rangers do not have powers of arrest other than individual citizens' powers of arrest. They have very limited authority. They find often that when they try to confront these mining companies, that they are treated with disdain, and sometimes they are even attacked. And so we need the government to take this seriously. We need the police to get involved, and Emma to get involved, and indeed the mining commissioner. One of the other issues I've raised is, even if this mining is legal, there is an obligation to rehabilitate land after one has mined land. And there's clearly no attempt being made to rehabilitate this land. These mining companies come in, they destroy the rivers, and there is clearly no obligation being placed on them by Emma to come back in once they have extracted the gold to restore what they have dug up. And so it is time that the nation started taking this seriously, and the government itself has the primary role in ensuring that this existential threat to the future of Bulawayo is addressed.
Umaphenduka kwezepolitiki uSikhwicamfundo Jonathan Moyo useqanje njengongqondongqondo ofuqe ukuba ibhethu likaZulu ngombuso ofuzwayo bayemisana enkantolo ngokujintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso lapho kuza kudluliselwa khona phambili ukhetho. Lokhu kuye kwavela encwadini ebhalwe ngamanye amagqwetha igqwetha uMethod Ndlovu, lo oye wathi yena usephuma ekumeleni leli cala ngenxa yokuba akabhadalwanga indleko zakhe. Ngokumangazayo, uMoyo nguye okhanya engungqondongqondo ngokujintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu. Ngokusenjalo, esinye isiphathamandla kubandla eliphikisayo Eric Gono usethe uSikhwicamfundo uMoyo uyaziwa ngokuthengisa abantu baseZimbabwe ngokuvumelana kokubusa kodlakela. Uye wathi emandulo uMoyo wancedisa uRobert Mugabe ukuze abuse ngodlakela elizweni ngesikhathi kusenziwa imithetho eyayinzima efana lephosa le-AIPA. UGono uye wathi uMoyo nguye njalo ungqondongqondo ngokujintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu, kodwa uye wamxwayisa ukuba ukujintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso kakuzi kuphumelela. Ake sithole okuningi kuvela kuGono.
Kuyisimanga bakithi umuntu wesintwini ubaba uMoyo etholakala esesenta yokufuna ukungezelela inhlupheko zabantwana baseZimbabwe. Labantu ababusa iZimbabwe ngabantu ababesesenta yeGugurawundi, lapho esicabangela khona ukuthi laye uMoyo walahlekelwa ngabakubo abaningi kakhulu. Sikhangelela ukuthi njengomuntu wesintwini mhlawumbe ngabe ukhalela ukuthi iZimbabwe ikiguquke kube lotshintsho, kodwa kuyasimangalisa nxa sibona ukuthi yena uzithola nguye ohamba phambili ekuncindezeleni umphakathi. Enye into esimangalisayo ukuthi uMoyo selesikhathi eside kakhulu engakhona ukubuya ekhaya, ehlala emazweni ngenxa ngokungathandi, but ngenxa yokuthi esabela impilo yakhe. Kodwa isimanga ukuthi nguye ozithola efuna ukungezelela isikhathi sokuthi le government eyo emenza angahlali ekhaya ibilokuyibusa. Kuyasimangalisa njalo kuyasisolisa kakhulu ukuthi kanti ingqondo yakhe isebenza njani. Kodwa esingakutsho nje njengomphakathi ukuthi hayi into ayifisayo ayisozenzakala. Asisoze sivume njengomphakathi ukuthi ilungelo elalwelwa ngobaba uMasuku Olukhawuti, obaba uJoshua Nkomo, lamanye amaqhawe ayalwela ilizwe leli ukuthi iZimbabwe ikhone ukuvota, sizikhethele ubukhokheli esibufunayo. Linto angeke sivume ukuthi ibiselwe emuva. So baba uMoya angazi ukuthi ubanjwa yini kumbe kusuka kuthini, kodwa njengomphakathi asisoze sivume lento afuna ukuthi esenzele yona.
Esinye isiphathamandla kubandla eliphikisayo kanti njalo wayemela iPhelandaba Chabalala etalele ephalamende, umhlonitshwa uGift Ostalo Siziba usekhuthaze izakhamizi ukuba zilwisane lokuhlaselwa nguhulumende. USiziba uthi isikhathi sokuba izakhamizi ziqoqane endaweni abahlala kizo ukuze bavimbe ukuhlukunyezwa yilabo abasebenzela uhulumende. Inkulumo yakhe iza ngemva kokuhlaselwa kukaSikhwicamfundo Lovemore Maduku kuviki ephelileyo, kanti njalo amahhovisi kaTendai Biti lawo ayahlaselwa ngamapholisa izolo. Ugatsha lwamapholisa solubhekane lokuchothozwa kakhulu okuvela emphakathini ngokusebenzisa umthetho ngobandlululo kulabo abebandla eliphikisayo. Lokhu kuza ngemva kokuba amapholisa ngezimota zabo baye bayagcwala emahhovisini kaTendai Biti eMilton Park eHarare izolo. UBiti othungamela iConstitution Defenders Forum CDF uthi amapholisa ayahlasela omunye wabonogada emahhovisini akhe, kodwa amapholisa akuphikile lokho. Kusenjalo ngokwenkani, iCDF izolo isungulwe ngokusemthethweni eHarare iloba kube lokukhahlanyezwa lokwethuselwa ngamapholisa. Ekhuluma ngesikhathi kusungulwa le inhlanganiso, omunye wabathungameli uTendai Biti uthe iCDF iza kuncedisana lezakhamizi ukuze kuvinjwe icebo lokutshintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu. Uye wacela njalo ukuba abantu basebenze ngokumanyana kanye lalabo abangaphandle kwelizwe kumele bazwakalise amazwi abo mayelana ngokutshintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso. Ake sizweni ekhuluma.
As you know, our government has gazetted Constitutional Amendment number 3 of 2026, which seeks to extend the term of office of the President and Parliament by a further 2 years to 2030. Elections are supposed to be held in 2028. They now want them to be held in 2030. The amendment also seeks to change the way we elect our president from a direct election of 17 million people to an election through parliament, 300 members of a parliament. The amendment also seeks to avoid a referendum. Our constitution is very clear that when you remove term limits, 2 referendums are required. I was in my office today when the police surrounded the SEM and besieged the SEM. This is the 3rd time that they've done that. They've also heavily assaulted a worker at that office called Pardon Chipangura. They've also attacked some of the clients that had come to see me. This is a continuous onslaught against any person, any individual who is voicing alternative opinion against Constitutional Amendment number 3 of 2026. The CDF has been under siege, but so too other fellow Democrats. Only 2 days ago, they heavily assaulted Professor Lovemore Maduku at his offices, and a week ago, they heavily assaulted one of our youths and literally left him for dead. But the message we have is that as CDF, we are not stopping, as the people of Zimbabwe, we are not stopping in resisting this fascism, in resisting this authoritarian consolidation. We find it ironic and hypocritical that they are able to have their meetings, their public consultations, but they are proscribing any meeting, any gathering, even any writing by any alternative voice that is opposed to their fascist amendments. So we'll continue, but we hope that the world can watch what is happening in Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Intengo yegwayi yehlile kakhulu edoleni leMelika isuka ku$4.60 isiya ku50 cents. Lokho sokuchiye abalimi belahlekelwe kakhulu. Lokhu kuza ngemva kokuba inhlanganiso yeZera ikhweze intengo yamafutha ezimota izolo. Kusenjalo, uhulumende usekhuthaze zonke indawo ezithengisa amafutha ezimota ukuba bathengise ngemali yasekhaya. Phakathi kwakho konke lokhu kokuhlukumezeka ngezomkhonomi, siye saxoxisana longqongqoshe wezemali kubandla eliphikisayo umhlonishwa uKhopani Matsivanyika ukuba asiphe yakhe imbono ngalokho kuvelayo. Ake sizweni.
The current ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East are having actually far-reaching consequences or far-reaching implications for the economy of Zimbabwe, particularly in the fuel sector and also the gold sector. You will find that the conflict that has led has led to a surge or an increase in the global prices for oil, resulting in increased fuel costs in Zimbabwe. Currently, if you look at our local market, diesel is currently being priced at $1.77 per liter, while this petrol was priced at $1.71 per liter, posing significant challenges for consumers and business alike. So you find that this is a stochastic shock or an external shock to the economy of Zimbabwe. Why is this fuel price have gone up? The price of fuel have gone up because the current war in Iran in the Middle East, actually Iran is actually closed a critical energy choke point, which is called the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most important energy choke points because it accommodates around 20 million barrels of crude oil and petroleum products passing through it daily, and it accounts to about 20% of global oil consumption. So now that the Strait of Hormuz was disrupted because of war caused by it going on in the Middle East, the impact is that it has heavily affected Africa and other European countries. Africa, if you see it, Africa, Zimbabwe included, is heavily reliant on imported refined petroleum products, making it so vulnerable to these disruptions. So a sustained spike in the price of crude oil actually lead to increase in the price for energy, to increase, to strain foreign currency reserves. It actually drives up transportation costs. It also drive up industrial activity cost. So when fuel prices increases, as a result of that disruption, it causes higher shipping rates, it causes increased insurance costs, it causes tighter global supply chains, it leads to a lot of the ultimate effect, because the fuel is actually has got a serious throughput effect to almost all prices, because the bulk of economic activity requires fuel. So as such, the fuel prices will be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices, and that can create an inflationary pressure to Zimbabwe. So what is very important to understand at the current circumstances is that Zimbabwe requires solutions to absorb these shocks that are coming from the geopolitical tensions. But to be precise, on the other hand, Zimbabwe's gold sector is actually experiencing a windfall, even due to the conflict. Because most investors, whether in the Middle East and in the world, they are now preferring gold than the US dollar because of this investment. Because they will see gold as a safe haven. They will be saying that gold will not lose its value. So as much as the fuel prices are going up, if Zimbabwe increases the production of gold, it might actually assist in potentially offsetting some of the losses which have arose from the increased fuel cost. However, you will find that the overall impact on Zimbabwe's economy is likely to be negative, because increased transport costs will contribute to higher inflation, putting pressure on the households, putting pressure on the business, putting pressure on the savers. So if you look at the country's fragile currency, the ZiG, which was trying to lift its legs up, it may also come under serious pressure, potentially leading to further economic instability. So this stochastic shock is not something to take for granted, because these are exogenous factors beyond the control of government, beyond the control of Zimbabwe as a country. So what is the government should now then take action to try to absorb the shock, probably by implementing fuel subsidies. If it is possible, if they have got the necessary capacity, it's important to implement subsidies than to introduce price controls. Price controls are dangerous. So it's better for government to introduce fuel subsidies, getting advantage of the windfall from gold. Then it subsidize fuel to make it cheaper for the generality of Zimbabweans. That way, it will actually become easy to absorb the cost, so that the cost will not be pushed onto the generality of Zimbabweans. So that is my 2 cents with the current circumstances. But the truth of the matter is, we are in for a very hard drive, and I hope that this geopolitical tension or the war in the Middle East will not last long. I hope it is going to end shortly, so that normal supply for oil is restored before it causes catastrophic effects on the economy of Zimbabwe.
Ngesikhangile kwezemidlalo, iqembu leTottenham Hotspur selibhekane lokususwa emidlalweni ngemva kokuba bedliwe iCrystal Palace 3-1 izolo kusihlwa. iTottenham iye yahlohla ngoDominic Solanke emzuzwini engama-34, kodwa ukuphiwa kwekhadi elibomvu kukalo ovimbayo uMickey van de Ven kujinje umdlalo. iPalace iye yahlohla amagoli amathathu, amabili ahlohlwe ngu-Ismail Sarr, kwathi elilodwa lahlohlwa nguJürgen Strand Larsen. Ukuziphetha lezi ndaba kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio, nanze bezihamba phambili. Uhulumende usekhuthaze ukuba achiyane lokutshintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu, abhekisise indubo ezikhona elizweni. Uguga uthi ukuhlolwa ngokwemtshina akakufinyelelwe nguye wonke umuntu ezibhedlela zikahulumende ngentengo engcono. Usodolobha uColtart udla amahabula ngokwembiwa okwenziwa ngokungekho emthethweni esabelweni saseMatabeleland. Siziphetha lapha lezi ndaba.